Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. So today we are going to talk about the poem To the Nile by John Keats. Son of the old moon mountains African, chief of the pyramid and crocodile. So on the first line of the poem, John Keats have personified River Nile as the son of the old moon mountains in Africa. The word son displays the masculinity or the power of River Nile. On the second line, he says, chief of the pyramid and crocodile. So here, the River Nile has been described as the chief of pyramids as well as the crocodiles. The Egyptian civilization has become very much popular due to its pyramids. In the ancient period, the river has given immense support in transporting goods that are essential to make pyramids. Therefore, it shows that unless for the river Nile, the Egyptian civilization would have not survived and the pyramids would have not existed. River Nile is also the home for the deadliest crocodiles in the world.
We call thee fruitful, and that very while a desert fills our seeings in word span. According to the ancient Egyptians, the river Nile is a fruitful or a healthy river which is highly fertile. It is considered as the nourishment for the vegetation and the parched soil in Africa. In Africa, most of the land areas are deserts. But that deserty land has become lucky enough to provide a space for the longest river in the world to flow among it and to make the parched soil nourished. By this, we are able to understand the divinity and superiority provided to River Nile by the Africans.
Nurse of the swart nations since the world began, art thou so fruitful, or thou beguile? Usually, the word nurse refers to a person who shows affection and care to patients. In this line, the poet has personified the Nile River to a nurse who provides all the nourishment and care to the black people living in Africa. It is said that during the ancient time, the black people or the Africans have been treated brutally as slaves. But the river Nile has nourished them with moisture and vegetation. Therefore, it has been treated as a goddess by them. The poet questions River Nile, asking him whether it is actually superior or divine as described by the people, or whether it is misleading or cheating on them by just putting on a show. The poetic technique of using rhetorical questions have emphasized the inversion of the river. The poet who praises the river with hyperbole in the octave treats it as an ordinary water body or like other rivers in the world. Such men to honor thee, who worn with toil, rest for a space twixt Cairo and Deccan. These two lines describe us about the African people who work very hard to nourish their lives and the way how they respect and honor River Nile as a goddess. This shows the superiority of the river even though it is a non-living natural resource. This tells about the path in which River Nile flows. It flows in between the two plateaus, Cairo and Deccan. The poet uses rhetorical questions to describe about the river. Oh, may dark fancies err? They surely do. Is ignorance that makes a barren waste? These lines describe on how the ignorance of the people have made them treat River Nile as a goddess. According to the poet, the river has become this much superior due to the mythological beliefs of the people. Of all beyond itself, thou dost bedew. Green rushes like our rivers and dost taste. The pleasant sunrise Green isles hast thou too, and to the sea as happily dost hast. On the last four lines of this poem, it is said that the river has been normalized as an ordinary river. On the last three lines of the poem, the poet normalizes the river Nile to an ordinary river, which ultimately ends up leading to the sea like all other rivers. The poet also creates a visual imagery on the reader's mind by saying that bright rays of sunlight fall onto it.
This poem is a sonnet which comes in two forms as octave and sestet. The octave describes about the divinity of river Nile, while the sestet
Normalizes it as an ordinary river.